Hello, good afternoon, guys. It is excuse me. It is Tuesday. Excuse me, Wednesday. Oh, all right, my favorite time. My notification. Thank you, universe, for my prayers. It is Wednesday, the 5th of August. So I've taken a couple days off the news. Just like trying to organize, clean up around me. I still haven't got around to laundry. So in the news, we hear about I guess they're they're going to go forth with Blanche's. I mean, confirmation. I did we not expect it? And he's already pushing his freaking um you know their abortion agenda regarding, I can't even say the male abortion pill. Like, they waste no time. They waste no time. They asked Trump about it. I mean, what is he gonna say? They're all actors. But it's, and I said it, and I'm pretty sure I didn't have to say it because everyone else would have seen it coming. That Cornyn and Tillis caved. They dropped their opposition to the slush fund, the 1.8 billion anti-weaponization compensation fund for his goons, because they've gone through such a horrible time. Everything that they've endured, that they've suffered, that he let happen, because he intentionally waited before pardoning them. He could have before. I mean, he did it on his first day back, but he could have done it at 1.0. So whatever it was that they do feel that they've suffered because he let happen. They suffered. Ugh, it's just ridiculous. Like, I just can't believe this is the world we still live in. Like, sometimes it's just hard for that to hit you. Like, officers died. Some committed suicide. And I urge some of you guys. I started following one of the police officers, Michael Fatone. It's just, if you're one of these people that puts yourselves in the shoes of others, like, could you just imagine what they like suffer, what they must have went through? Like, PTSD is real. It's real. At times it's debilitating. I mean, most of their trauma, and a lot of like complex trauma, is stuff that I guess didn't have to happen, didn't have to be necessary. I mean, we live in a world where narcissists do a lot of damage. They do a lot of harm. They cause chaos. They wreak havoc. I finished working out. It's my after protein drink. Like, a lot of this stuff happens, and I try not to think about like my my time in service, my time in the government, but sometimes you can't help but to think of it when you confront news like this. Corning until their failure. I mean, I don't even think that they were bullied, because they received what they said was a memo or letter, which, if you guys follow Liz Oyer, she's the former pardon attorney. She said it's not valid because he didn't sign it. It was supposed to be two documents presented as one, and he only signed like the second page. So it's not even valid. They're just fucking pussies. And everything is just show. Everything is acting. Everything is this game. Everything is theater. Dramatics. And so I think back of my time in service, you know, in the government, and I used to like just have like go into these spells, and I just used to think like, are these men really put on these pedestals, given these positions of power, authority, official titles, and you could see right through. They're just pussies. They are just pussies. Most of them will not walk what they tell their constituents to toughen up to experience. Most of them would never, first of all, not have the strength to face these adversities, but not have the opportunities. It would not be accessible to, they wouldn't need to, because they've lived these lives of privilege, and we all have privilege. We all have some sort of privilege. I often thought about mine. So I thought about it even more when I became a whistleblower, because of the guilt, the shame, and all this stuff, right? But they're given these positions of privilege, of authority, already having walked lives of privilege, and never really needing to show the strength that many of, like, the marginalized communities have to, the ones that actually have to, like, endure the consequences of these laws, of their actions. They're just pussies. They have no courage. I don't even know, like honest, like, we're stuck with them, but I used to always wonder, is somebody married to this motherfucker? Like, is living a life next to a person that has no courage, no grit, or or gravitas, or just oomph, you know what I'm saying? Like, but then again, like, we see so many of these marriages, these Christian, these conservative marriages, and they're fake anyway, so I guess they know not to expect it. But still, it's just like, we're stuck with these men in these positions of leadership, where they're actually creating the laws that we are suffering the consequences of. And I'll edit this out. They just don't care. They just don't care. They don't care about women's rights. They don't care about gay rights. They don't care about human rights. They don't care about I'm a libertarian, so they don't care about autonomy. They don't care about self-governance. Harm reduction is really a veil. It's a facade. they're pretending that they needed, you know, whatever their concessions were. Oh, they wanted to ensure that the Trump family will be held accountable for, their tax fraud, tax evasion, all the shit that they said that they were going to hold out for. It's theatrics. I sat through seeing it, and I just don't know how they've gone their whole lives being able to fool people, because they're just pussies. They're men with no honor. They're men with no strength, no courage, no will, no real intelligence, because to be honest, they're not really intelligent. It's just like we're finding out now with Elon Musk, like people were saying, oh, they thought, billionaires were intelligent and stuff. I love these stickers, by the way, that you see on Tesla cars. Like, I didn't know he was an asshole. But many of us are learning they're not. I didn't know that they weren't intelligent. They're not. They just are in these positions off of their lack of compassion, of empathy, off of their inability to care for other people. Their narcissism, basically. So many of them rise to these levels. And anyone who deals or with narcissism, who has them in the narcs in the family, it's just these bullies just get away with so much because we are complicit, right? We comply, we pay our taxes, we go to school, we respect our neighbor, even, if they're just like, I don't know. Like, I was doing my canvassing this weekend, helping, like, with, to help, like, dispel myths and stuff. It's mostly just helping people register in communities where, like, they just don't. Like, yes, we're in this situation. 77 million Magites got us here, but 90-something million didn't vote. Whether it's laziness, incompetence, ignorance, poverty, it's just more and more, I really do think it's just our maybe fear, or our just acceptance of letting it be the way it is, of the status quo, right? Of just accepting, knowing that these men are cowards, right? And we have these roles. Many of us have these dual roles. Whether it's marriages, whether it's professionalism, careers, service, because every day that you're human, right? Every day you're fulfilling this oath, right? To be a decent human being, to be the good, or try not to judge thy neighbor, right? Try to put yourselves in their shoes. All these things were taught in, like, elementary, right? And like, we saw it for a while with the genocide, right? So, like, if people still couldn't call it genocide. So, I mean, I'm saying, like, if it's past tense, if it's not some that we have, I believe today, Abdul Sayed gives Haley Stevens her complete kind of whip ass after they spent $60 million on her ass. She's just nuts. Like, they're just this blatantly cowardly and just nuts. So we're living, right? We live in this like level where we know, and this is something I also always like, I try not to think about, but it hit me more with the whole whistleblower thing. Like your gut, you know what's right, you know what's wrong, but we have to be respectable. We have to be, it's like they say, some truths are considered impolite even when they're true. So you can't speak of them. It's like racism, it's like classism, feminism, or, anti or whatever, racism, ageism, all these things we know, we see. Specifically for me, I found out in Florida, it was all open. Like, it's just like the mafia. But that's what these men are. These men are just mafiosos. They're just pussies. And here we just have to comply and face the inevitable, right? What we know is coming, undoubtedly. It always rears its ugly head that they don't care because it's not in their fabric to care about others, and they will cave, even like they really didn't have to. They're not running again. Whatever. There's stuff coming out now with Massey and Tucker and Marjorie, what's her face? They're indoctrinating, they're cultivating this next extension of what the Magite is. And as aware as most of us are now, we're saying that there's this collective unconsciousness. Like a couple weeks back, I think of this very shy person, I'm friends with now, and he said this revolution that's going on. It happened 2 times. We comply, and they just shapeshift into the next form of evil, of inconsiderateness, of selfishness, of cowardness, of blatant in your face evil. I don't know. I'm not even sure what I started this rant to say. But like I said, I've taken a break for a couple of days. So I do have to post something, and I figured this is what's on my mind. And it goes with the topic of the day. And I'm sure so many of us already has it. We all know what's going to happen. He's going to reward these goons. His electoral integrity shit like went so far now that he's in office. Like, it shit just doesn't work. For even a lot of his diehards, he has this 32%, 33%, whatever it is. But so they're going into their next phase of, leaving their mic on, of they're taking our voice away. And I guess we just reach that point where you tell yourself, to what extent am I going to let these pussies dictate how we should be living? How much more am I going to accept or tolerate or comply with. Last time we had the Occupy movement. What is next? Because we're not rolling over, right? What is coming next after the ugly? This is their calm. Their calm. What will our storm be? Thank you for listening. As always, stay safe, stay blessed. Like, comment, subscribe. I forget to say that. This is a new channel. But thank you if you made it this far. And I see you. I'm with you. And we will prevail. We will get through this. We have to be the brave ones. Have a happy Wednesday.